Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers Legacy Deluxe Class Dead End. Number 3 of 5 from Nemesis. Yeah, we'll go ahead and put them on the side right here because we're going to look at the box. And yes, you can see a nice picture of the car mode there and Legacy and Transformers and his name. And on the side here, got a nice action shot of him in robot mode and the close-up of that and all this stuff. I believe his name is Cybertronian there. On top you have Legacy and number 3 of 5 from Nemesis. And on the side here you have the line-wide artwork and authentic Transformers. On the side, back bottom here, you have the copyrights and all that stuff, and of course more copyrights and warnings and product shots, and 3 of 5 again, and of course the tech spec QR code if you want that. It also comes with instructions, which pretty straightforward. Although there's definitely something that you need to watch out for when transforming him. So yeah, Dead End. He's also definitely inspired a bit of discussion, mostly because of the feet. So, believe it or not, he is actually a somewhat of an extensive retooling of Dragstrip. Figure I already really liked a lot. And yeah, he is, Dead End. So, mostly silvers and reds and blacks. So, you can see, getting up close there, you got, nice orange the mouth plate with the purple visor. You got the black and silver and the little Decepticon symbol for his chest. You got the black and red here. You got the black and red there and all that stuff. Going through. And that's, the car bits kind of hanging out. You got his hood just hanging out on his back. And yeah, he also that venting detail and all that stuff. You got a good looking robot mode, I feel, overall. Yeah, I think it looks great, personally. He's also got his 2 guns, which are black and nice metallic purple. See that? Yeah, nice black and metallic purple. Got this little hook thing and a little thing, and of course you can hold both of those if you want. So there you go. You do all that and everything's good to go. Yeah, it looks real nice personally, I find. I know, I just mostly like him. There's just a couple things about him I just kind of wish were a little different personally, but most of the part I do like him quite a bit. Articulation wise, his head is actually swivel, weirdly enough. But yeah, so it's just only got left and right. Got a full shoulder articulation there, though. Outward, you got that much. You got a bicep swivel. Elbows. Can actually do 90 degrees, although if you have the gun in there, you can't. The peg on the back of the gun is a little too long, so that's unfortunate. He does have a waist swivel, are unhindered, thankfully. Hips are also weirdly limited because there's a little tiny notch of plastic inside there above the hip. So we can only go forward so far if you go straight forward. If you angle it out a bit, then he gets a lot more forward. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Back is also similarly limited. Again, if you kind of move it out a bit and then you go. And then outward, you have full splits. So that's a weird thing. Just this little tiny notch of plastic in there on both sides. It's not as far as I can tell, it's not an error, but might be something I might consider trying to shave down at some point just to, I don't know. Well, actually, I think that's for the screw, so maybe not. I don't know. Thigh swivel, though. You got knees, which, again, you have 90 degrees of bend, but because of the shape of the leg and everything, you kind of are a little limited. And down here at the feet, well, lack of feet, I guess. Some people are really upset about the feet here because there's barely anything. You do have tilt, although it does start to angle back when you tilt to a certain point, and I guess you do have a bit of backwards as well. So yeah, he's got weird articulation, particularly once you get everything up here is pretty solid, but once you start getting below the waist, everything starts getting a little weirdly limited. So that's unfortunate. Yeah, real quick comparisons though. Here he is with Siege Megatron, just to give you an idea. There you go. And here he is with his wave mates, which I for now have all 4 of the deluxes for this wave. I think it's wave 3 now, yeah. I believe the final wave of the Legacy before we get to Legacy Evolution. Yeah, all 4 of them. Once I get Crankcase in there, yep, there you go. Crankcase who's standing weird again. He's actually kind of the shortest one, but he has to be a very specific size or else he won't work very well with the rest of them. Here he is with Combiner Wars Dead End, which, yeah, bringing up him again because, well, this time we have the right thing going on. Bigger but less accurate. And here he is with the Fans Project dead end. Just to give you an idea on that front. And of course, finally, here he is with the Stunticon so far in Legacy. So yeah, there you go. The Stunticon so far. Just one left. Okay. Pretty darn good looking robot mode. The only thing is weirdly limited articulation below the waist, but in some weird ways, but you know, overall pretty solid. So anyway, transformation. First thing, of course, get these guns out of his hands. And transformation is actually pretty reminiscent of Dead End. There's some minor differences. The first thing is, or not, reminiscent of Drag Strip. Some minor alterations. But yeah, first thing is get these and rotate those around 180. These little panels on his arms, rotate those 180. Take these wheels and rotate those 180 as well. Like so. Up here, back here, you want to go ahead and untab the hood from the roof, and then to untab the roof from the back, like that. Take these and untab those from the sides. Break the head panel and just rotate that all back in there like that. Bring these up on these little armatures and tab them together like that. And go ahead and bring these in and slot those in like that. Bring the roof back down and bring the hood down as well. Those will all kind of come together. Tab in and all that stuff. Make sure that all tabs in. Nice and square. Like that. Now back here, you want to go ahead and open these this panels on the shins, which on mine are ridiculously tight. Like they tab in ridiculously tight no matter what mode you're going into. Gonna want to collapse those in like so. Then this part right here, this is one other thing, was this on mine again, this tabs in really weird. This bit right here. Tab them together in the center. And see, like it's weirdly, it's resistant to tabbing in, to say the least. There we go, tabbing in somewhat. And close that up like that. Now here you want to go ahead and tab it in the back right there. Make sure it's all good to go. Now this part, this is the part which can be a little weird. So, okay, so these got to fold forward and tab in. Plus there's a little hook tab on this one, which will go hook underneath this one, right? So I found, and people have found out that when you do this all, often this is what happens. Now I found what you got to do is get these forward and click, click these into place. You can hear that. They click into place like that. And then back here, you just kind of, very, very carefully hook that in and push those together. And if you do it all correct, and it's also very, very wants to do it very, if you do this all correctly, it will more or less hold together. I mean, you still have some gapping here, but it's not as bad. You can see that. Overall, in particular on this side, I've noticed it's kind of a little bit worse on this side than it is on this side. But overall, this kind of helps to hold together. And there you go. There you have Dead End in his car mode. Yeah, the vehicle mode. Again, I think the vehicle mode here is largely, outside of the whole that problem. It's largely fantastic for the most part. This part doesn't want to quite line up, but yeah. Vehicle mode, I think, is largely great. It's kind of based on the Porsche 928. You got the little headlights, which if you don't know, they actually flip forward like that, which is kind of neat. That was a cool thing in the original car. Yeah. You also got some detailing up here. Some of that stuff. You got the nice, of course, gold and silver stripe going down the side of the car. You got the black windows and the kind of the sunroof thing. Got some, painted rims and all that stuff. You got some detailing there. You got some detailing back here, details on taillights and all that stuff. And the RC does roll pretty decently, all things considered. Not really ground clearance there, thank goodness. And yeah, pretty darn good looking overall, I find. For the most part, it's just kind of this weird bit at the back, and just, I don't know what it is on. Sometimes the hood on mine, I think I might be have something misaligned, but sometimes the hood just does not want to fully line up. I think it's not totally tabbing in right there. Or if it is, it's something keeps pushing it back up. But yeah, pretty darn good. And of course, you can take the guns here and there's peg holes back here. You can, you know, just like before, just like the, you know, this is something I totally forgot about. It's like I kind of knew, but like just kind of didn't make the connection, which is it's kind of emulates the old ones where, you know, the old cannons kind of slotted in back and, you know, had the gun. So this kind of emulates that a little. So you can just still do that if you want. That's the thing. There you go. Dead ends, alt mode. I think it's great. So comparisons real quick. You can compare it to, you know, Combiner Wars Dead End, which, yeah, very different supercar, more of a Ferrari looking thing, but yeah, also different shades of red. I'm looking at that. So that you got the Fans Project version, which is also Ferrari, also much smaller, different, also much more burgundy, if anything. So you got that going on, and of course, comparing them with the rest of the Legacy Stunticons. Just missing there's one missing, and that's, yep, just one missing, and well, he's coming soonish. Some people apparently are getting at this point, the report said that, hey, yeah, my card's been charged. I was like, oh, cool. I'm just now getting a dead end. Yeah. Yep. And of course, once again, yeah, combine mode, which I'm only going to show this part off, and I'm not going to combine it with Menasor quite yet until we're all of them are to here. But yeah, just like drag strip, although with different peg holes and stuff, you have to just go ahead and plug this on. Just like, you know, line all the pegs and tabs up and just plug it on, and then go ahead and this will loosen things up such a way that you can now hopefully separate that. Separate the pout. And there you go. Alt mode, and of course this just came undone because of course it did, but yeah. Yep. The combine mode, just like before, you can do that whole thing and have a split car. So yeah, dead end here. Well, for obviously, of course, if you're already invested at this point, well, in Menasor, you're probably already jumping on this guy regardless. But as a standalone figure, I think he's still pretty good. The only thing is, I feel like he does kind of weakens the mold compared to drag strip, particularly that shadow strip for him. But yeah, he's mostly has a lot of the same strength, although he's a couple of extra weaknesses that drag strip doesn't, namely the some weirdness with the articulation, particularly below the waist. The course transformation is mostly actually pretty solid. Just from mine, there's a couple tabs that are way too tight, and on top of that, the back end doesn't quite like to tab in together very nicely, and you have to kind of fiddle with it a bit to get it to work. But you do get a nice alt mode out of it as well. So it's one of those things, kind of a mixed bag. Transformation's a little, well, the transformation's mostly fine. It's just tolerances might be, I don't know, maybe some other people have better ones that don't have the problems mine do. But good looking robot mode, good looking alt mode. Transformation is actually pretty solid. It's just there's maybe a couple little tolerance issues that you might have to deal with, but other than that, I think he's pretty solid. So I think actually I'll actually say, despite everything, he's probably still the best of the wave, or at least deluxe wise. So yeah, I rather like him, and as a standalone figure, I think he's pretty solid. But of course, anyone who's getting the whole set is already kind of probably just going to get him regardless, and well, probably also lamenting Breakdown, which we'll get into that again. I'll get into Breakdown when Breakdown shows up. So yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's worth picking up. So that's it for this one. I hope you found informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my Twitter. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1. Check out my co-host on my cohost.com/Nemesis-Prime. Check out my coffee, my Patreon. I shall see you next time with another video review.